Hi folks, Ian Marsh here, Winning Edge Real Estate. And today I want to talk about two very important things. One, why very smart people believe that Brisbane property is going to increase up to 50% before the Olympics. And two, I want to just walk you through a simple strategy that I've used and many of my clients have used to generate literally hundreds of percent in profit on their investment. Now, I'm not a financial planner. I can't give financial advice. What I can tell you is I've been investing since I was 19. I'm a real estate agent and I've got a multi-million dollar portfolio of my own. So take from that what you will, but let me now reveal to you why I've got such belief, and I have had for many years, in the future of the Brisbane area and Gold Coast. So check this out. This is research from Rain and Horn. Now, they put this out talking about the Brisbane Olympics effect. And they really believe that property is going to increase up to 50% by the time the Olympics happen. Why is that? There's a number of factors. Not only did we have the highest internal migration into Queensland, especially during the COVID period, but also, where do you think most of the millionaires around the world want to settle? Yes, they want to settle up here in Queensland from around the world. In fact, Australia is the number one destination for millionaires. I don't know if you knew that from overseas. They all are trying to get here because we are the lucky country. So with that in mind, what you then add to the mix when you're considering, okay, what areas are going to grow and increase them? You want to start to look where government is putting infrastructure. And so I'm just going to show you some other data that I got exposed to the other night. And this is by Urbis Research. I can't take credit for it. I'm just leveraging off their knowledge. Okay, so if you have a look here, so as you can see here, this is some of the development that's going on in Brisbane right now. Not talked about, this is actually happening. You've obviously got the Golden Triangle precinct, that's where everybody works. Then you've got Howard Smith Wharves. Have you ever been there? It's amazing, the restaurants that are there, the views. I tell you what, if you want to propose to someone and get an answer in the positive, maybe think about Howard Smith. You've got the expansion of Howard Smith Wharves. You've got the Brisbane Arena, $2.1 billion. Now, what's under construction? Okay, it's one thing, ladies and gentlemen, to talk about what might happen, but this is what's actually happening as we speak. Under construction, you've got the Cross River Rail, $6.4 billion. Queen's Wharf, $4 billion. Brisbane Metro, $1.7 billion. Not to mention the billions of dollars being pumped into the Olympics right now. Have a think about, why is it that Brisbane is putting so much money into their city? This is crazy infrastructure that's going in. And so what's going to happen with the areas where this infrastructure is occurring? The value of the properties are going to be increasing. It just stands to logic. They don't just decide to put this infrastructure in because they want to spend our taxpayer money. They generally have some pretty good reasoning for that. So that's why I wanted to bring to your attention is, okay, property prices are going to go up. We know that's the long-term trajectory. So now, how do we make money from this knowledge? The way to do it is finding a great development in a great area that's being done by a proven developer with a fantastic track record, and that they have a great builder building that development. And when you find that opportunity, here's my advice: get in as early as you can. And by the way, I'm only talking to me here. Do not take this as buying advice, because I'm not a financial planner, but I'm just making you aware of the strategy that I use. So when I find a investment opportunity like this, the thing is to get in as early as you can. Okay, why? Because what happens with developers, and you may not be aware of this, but they need to sell an X percentage of their developer to keep the banks happy. And when they get that certain amount of apartments sold, they then put the pricing up, often 20, 30, even 40% higher than the original price. So what do we take from that? We want to make sure that we get in as early as we can so we get the best pricing, obviously. And there's some of you right now that are thinking, but what happens if the project doesn't go ahead? I get that as well. And so this is where you need to be careful. You need to ensure that when you put your deposit down, you're making sure that it's going into a trust account, not directly to a builder or a developer. What happens then is even if the project does not move forward, you've still been earning interest on your money and you will get your deposit back. Okay, so what's the real cost? Well, the real cost is only the opportunity cost where you could have used that capital somewhere else. But if you do diligence and you're really careful about the developer and the builder that's being used, that largely negates the risk of that project not going ahead. So what I want to speak to here is an opportunity that you're going to see down below where maybe you've heard of it. There's a suburb called Spring Hill. Okay, now Spring Hill in Brisbane, it really reflects a great opportunity for investors. Why is that? I'm going to show you some other research here. Now, what people often do is they find something that's been booming and say, wow, look at all the growth that's been happening in that suburb. I want to get into that suburb. That's really cool because I want to make money too. The problem with that strategy is that the growth's already occurred and it's called the fear of missing out. If you have a look in the stock market, when the stock market's going up and up and up, a lot of investors get in right at the top and then the crash happens and they lose their money. So the savvy investor looks for suburbs that haven't experienced the massive growth yet, but have all of the indicators letting them know that it's going to happen. Now, here's one such suburb. It is Spring Hill. Okay, so right now, Spring Hill is 18% below average comparable suburbs, okay, in pricing. So if I'm going to put an analogy together, I want you to think about it. How many of Sydney at all? There's a suburb called Surrey Hills. I know it well because I used to live there and I used to maintain the railways at Redfern. Now, Surrey Hills was not the nice, trendy suburb that it is today. Back in my day, it was largely scorned upon, and the people that invested there, people thought they had rocks in their head. But when you look at the close proximity to Sydney CBD, just like Darlinghurst in Sydney, that was frowned upon as well. But as the people recognise that they want to live close to the CBD, what's going to naturally occur? Those suburbs get gentrified and property prices appreciate. So right now, we've actually got that opportunity again right here in Spring Hill. So if you compare it, we have a look at this one. Okay, in Spring Hill, if we have a look at our median average, okay, we're 13% below what we could and should be charging in this area. Now, that's not going to last for long. Just not that long ago, Brisbane was probably 30% cheaper than Sydney and Melbourne. But people discovered during that COVID period just how amazing Queensland is. And now we're actually on par with Melbourne for house prices. So now's your opportunity. If you wanted to find a great investment, there is a new development that's being done right now in Spring Hill. Prices start from $640,000 for a one-bedroom apartment. You're right next to the CBD. You're right in the middle of all of this infrastructure that's occurring. And there's a very good chance that Rain and Horn could be proven right. And we see that 50% increase in value over the next 8 years. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to know more, just reach out to me. Check out the information down below. And I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. By the way, these just got released, these apartments in Spring Hill. It's an outstanding development by an outstanding developer. And again, if you would like to know more about how to enjoy the future benefits on this, just give me a call. My number's below. I'm happy to help in any way I can. Hope you learned something. Till next time, bye for now.